spend my time staring out the window at a girl in the middle of it all. I don't know her name, but her face remains the same. I blame myself for not going that way. What if I came your way on this particular day? Well, I want to know you.
Hi, I'm Al Bangert, and you are watching another episode of I Always Wanted to Do That. It's a TV show that Mike Davis and I put together for you, citizens of Scituate, to find out more about people in Scituate that have interesting professions, interests, hobbies, pursuits, or just interesting ideas. Today, we are going to go up to R&C Farms and meet with Ronnie Simons. Ronnie has been farming for all his life. His father farmed, his grandfather farmed, so you can say that he has definitely got good farming roots. Ron's place is located on Route 123, also called Cornet Stetson Road. After the rotary, you head towards Norwell. There's the R&C Farms on your right, and we're going to go visit with Ron. Mike Davis is coming along right now, a veteran interviewer, and is going to interview him. Here he comes right now. Hey, Mike, how are you? Good to see you.
Hi, Al. Ron.
Hey, how are you?
Mike Davis from Scituate Community Television.
Ron Simons, R&C Farms.
My
how are
jaw's
you?
a little cold today, but thank you for doing this interview inside.
Yeah.
So you are counting the hay, the amount of hay in the bale here today? But thank you so much for having us in today.
Yeah.
And I guess you're the last farmer in Scituate. Is that?
That's what they say.
Yeah.
You know, in a big scale, I guess. You know.
Yeah. And we're in one of your many greenhouses, and it's heated in here. So you're going to be. I guess you'd said earlier around the end of January you start doing some planting.
About the end of January, we start planting pansies in the greenhouse. We fill one greenhouse. Right after that, we start seeding in a greenhouse.
Good.
And what we do is, you know, all through the spring, we keep filling these greenhouses till they're all full till we open in. This year we'll open the end of March, just before Easter, and then we start selling the products we grew.
Great. And how long have you been at this?
I've been doing this my whole life. I did it with my father.
Yeah, your father is back from starting.
Well, he owned over here next door, and he sold, and then he moved to Maine. And so I've been doing this on my own since 1980.
Okay.
So when he moved, I didn't want to go to Maine. It's cold enough here.
Yeah, sure. Especially today.
Yeah.
So before that, he was a farmer here in Scituate?
Yeah, what happened was 1959, he bought next door over here, which had 3 greenhouses. My grandfather bought it, and they grew tomatoes. They grew all indoor tomatoes. And we did that till the fuel embargo in the 70s, when the fuel price went up really high. Then they couldn't make any money growing tomatoes, so then we started growing flowers because that's what people wanted. And then what happened was the boiler house burnt down that was over there, and I'm not sure on the date, late 70s, and we built a new farm stand over there, and then and from there on in, that's what we did. We farmed, did greenhouses, plants, still grew tomatoes.
Yeah. Do you have other areas in the area that were you growing other than here?
Yeah, I have other areas. I farm approximately 65 acres.
Wow.
And it's all plots all throughout the towns. I got land in Norwell, Marshfield, Scituate. They're all little areas, and it's a 65 acres total. In the summer, we have a farm stand. The farm stand opens about Father's Day weekend. So we're producing, you know, lettuce and broccoli and kale and you name it, we grow it.
And the farm stand is right here on 123.
Right here on 123.
You had another one. Didn't you have another satellite one for a bit?
I have a little satellite one on High Street in Norwell.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's where I've seen it. Yeah.
So,
that's great. So tell us a little bit about what it's like. What's your day like in the middle of the farming season, for example?
Well, your days are long.
Right.
Okay, you start early. You start about 4:30 in the morning.
You don't have to milk
You don't-
cows anymore, though.
No milking cows. No. You know, we get a lot of work done early in the morning to about 9 o'clock because there's nobody coming in. We're not open yet, and when we open, it you know, you take care of the customers, you do your thing. But I mean, things change every day here. I mean, in the spring, we're working in the greenhouses. We get out here about 7. We work out here in the greenhouses, planting and stuff like that. And then as the season changes, we get into about April, I don't know, between April 10th and 20th, we stop planting peas, corn, lettuce, broccoli, kale, cabbage, all these different things in the fields. And then come June, and even before June, we stop picking the stuff. But our full-fledged farm stand doesn't open until Father's Day weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So and then and as you go through the season, you know, it changes. You know, just when you get sick of, you know, picking corn, you're into picking pumpkins, and then you get sick of picking pumpkins, you move on to you know, to selling Christmas trees. So it's a seasonal thing. And then Christmas Eve we close, and we usually open April 1st. Or if Easter is in March, we open the week before Easter because we do the Easter lilies and the tulips, and we sell pansies and all that different stuff.
So flowers are a big part of your business.
Yeah, flowers are probably half, and vegetables are the other half. I mean, everybody today wants fresh vegetables. They want to know where their stuff's coming from. They want to know what you put on it, what you did to it. And I mean, every year we get more and more and more business here because of the way we treat people, how we are with people, and we have good products.
If somebody, and you know, our show is called I Always Wanted to Do That, and some of the interviews I do, I'd like to do some of that. I'm probably not a farmer,
Right.
not at this point in time in my age anyway, but if somebody said, gee, that sounds like something I'd like to do, or I'd like to be involved in, what would you recommend that they do?
That they would want to become a farmer?
Yeah.
Tell them don't.
I had a feeling you were going to say that. I mean, if you don't grow up with it, it's like,
Yeah.
it would be really foreign to you.
This is the thing with farming. It's a lot of hard work, and when everyone's done at 5 or 6 or 7 at night, we're still working. You have to keep going until the work is done. If that means working an extra 3 or 4 hours a day, then you have to do it. You can't just say, okay, I'm all done today. You can't do that. So when you go out to your cornfield and it needs water, and you don't start watering until 8 o'clock at night, that means you're up all night watering that cornfield, because now you have to move on to the next cornfield. So if you dilly-dally in getting this done, you don't get any product out of it, or you don't get the right amount of product out of it.
Right.
So farming for people, if you want to be a farmer, I guess I shouldn't say don't do it. If you want to be a farmer, expect to work 24 hours a day all throughout the season, because that's what you have to do pretty much in order to make a living doing it.
If I were watching this show tonight, and I said, gee, I have a little corner of yard, maybe this big, and I want to grow some tomato plants, would you be in a situation where you could give advice on how to do that?
Oh yeah,
Is that something?
people come up all the time, and we do that. People say, you know, I did this with my tomatoes, and they didn't grow, and what do you think? And I says, well, bring me some soil. I'll test the soil. So we'll test the soil for them, and then usually they've over-tacked their garden. They've used it over and over again. Haven't added anything to it. They've never limed it. They use a little bit of fertilizer. They haven't added anything to it. Or someone will have a new garden. They got some soil somewhere, composted soil. The composted soil's lousy. Their stuff doesn't grow. So for people like that, I mean, that's what we do. People will come. We grow 40 different varieties of tomatoes.
Wow.
And people come here to get those 40 different varieties of tomatoes and the 30 different varieties of peppers and all these varieties that no one else carries. And they're all want information. Now, what's cool is when you've got it right and they come back, I had the best garden ever, you know? You feel like a hero, you know?
You don't look at it as competition or losing business.
No,
you look at it as enhancing the community.
I think competition's good. I don't, you know, if there was 5 farm stands in Scituate, I think competition's good.
Thank you so much for your
All
time.
right,
It's
well,
been
thank
great
you.
talking to you.
Awesome.
What a great episode, huh? Ron is very enthusiastic. Farming is a very, very hard job. I know because I grew up in a farming community, and it just is a very difficult task. His enthusiasm for his work is just inspiring, actually. Well, here we are in front of his shop on Route 123, as I mentioned, and around us is Ron's seasonal work. It goes right this time of year, it goes from Thanksgiving to Christmas preparations to firewood, and then on to getting ready for the planting in the spring, and then growing all summer long. So it's year-round seasonal work. It's very interesting. So anyway, I think you like this episode. If you have an idea for another episode, write us an email, sctv@scituatema.gov. And we look forward to seeing you next time. I'm Al Bangert. We'll see you next time.
I spend my time staring out the window at a girl in the middle of it all. I don't know her name, but her face remains the same. I blame myself for not going that way. What if I came your way on this particular day? Well, I want to know you. Will you let me know you? Let me take this chance to say, let's go, let's go, let's go right now. Well, it don't matter where or how. Things like this, they just can't wait. Let's go, let's go, let's go right now. I feel like needing, like getting around. Things like this, they just can't wait. Her hair's tied back, she might be good, but she might be bad. Well, she might just be that girl I never had. Let's take a shot, 'cause it's all we really got in this life.